Not really, no.
No. I'm sorry, is that better than what I said? Like chicken spaghetti.
Is that a thing? The thing you described, is that a real thing, or did you just make it up?
My aunt used to make it for her children.
What's it called?
And one of them's a mover. He's doing fine. Listen, what do you mean what's it called? It's called rice with tomato sauce and American cheese. And you would eat it. She tried to make it for me once. I threw the plate at her head. I said, don't come near me. But that's what it is. That's a way to eat. You want a meal that'll eat through the week. Eat through the week. What about stuffing?
Oh, yeah.
Can't you make a big pot of stuffing for your family and just give them stuffing? Stovetop. That's pricey.
Yeah, it's up there.
That is very expensive. Stovetop stuffing.
Yeah, here's an off-brand from Signature.
You know what my father used to make? Mashed potatoes that started out as powder.
Oh, yeah.
That's like a divorced dad meal. You get some powdered mashed potatoes. He would take steak, London broil. He'd burn it. He'd put it on a bagel. That's like a divorce. Yeah, that's right. Idahoan. This is instant potatoes. This is what people in this country eat. They eat Tyson, Holly Farms, chicken. They eat instant mashed potatoes. I mean, this is what people eat. And there's nothing wrong with it. This is our diet. This is our culture. Yeah, look at this. By the way, pull that up. This actually looks great. Tomato rice with cheddar. And you're acting like it's like a problem.
It looks like Olive Garden.
Olive Garden, you'd be lucky as hell to be at Olive Garden.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
It actually doesn't look bad.
You'd be lucky as hell to be in an Olive Garden with the way things are going in this country. That's the meal you make. Rice, sauce, cheese. Move on. Or, you know those Oysterette crackers that you get for free with the soup?
Yes.
If you give your kids, so for example, you can get those Oysterette crackers. You might be able to go to a restaurant. If you go to Red Lobster at the end of the night, you look sad, and go, do you have any leftover oyster crackers? They might give you some money. Also, here's the other thing, folks. If things are, beg. Beg at local restaurants. And if you have cute kids, send the kids in to Applebee's end of shift and tell them, listen, if you turn the waterworks on a little bit, we might be able to get something. Send your this is America. It's about ingenuity. It's not about sitting on your couch and feeling sorry for yourself. It's about sending your children in to local theme restaurants to beg for food. That's America. It's why we fought all these wars. If you don't have anything to eat, send your children to Olive Garden crying at 9:55 and ask and just say, we don't have any food. My parents are too embarrassed to ask. Can you give us food? Send your children into the Olive Garden 5 minutes before close and ask for leftover food. Say, I don't even care, even if it was on someone else's plate. Now, obviously, they're not going to give you food off of someone else's plate, but enhancing the desperation will help you. I mean, or you could just sit back and take it. But if I know something about America, the greatest country on earth, land of the free, home of the brave, it's that we really, when the going gets tough, the tough send their children in to beg for food. So, and then you can all go home with the food that you just got from the Cheesecake Factory. They give you some leftover food. Maybe they give you a big thing of mashed taters. And then you could go home and you could watch Selling Sunset or one of the real estate shows. And you can tell your children how great it is that we live in a country where people pay $10 million to live in shit boxes stacked on top of each other on top of the Sunset heroin strip. And you can explain that to them while they eat their mashed potatoes that they were given because they cried at the Cheesecake Factory during close. Or you could give them to DeAntwoord, whatever. But that's the way I feel. TimDillonComedy.com. There are no live dates, nothing to buy tickets to. Leave me alone. We don't have any merch either. Go away. Special will be out in June. It'll be irrelevant, but it'll be fun. It's funny. It's good. It's fine. Patreon.com, The Tim Dillon Show, for exclusive content. We are going to catch up on some of the episodes. We've been doing all the regular Patreon episodes, but we have a higher tier called the Rothschilds tier. And we are going to do all their episodes this week. We owe them a lot, and we're going to do a big episode this week. So it's a lot of fun over there on Patreon, a lot of bonus content. We will be around all the time now in this studio. You're going to see us so much, you're going to get sick of it. But I will tell you, I will tell you this right now, and I mean this. I do believe in America, and I believe that we're going to be able to get through this time, which is difficult economically, by begging chain restaurants for food, having children go in there and beg them for food. And you tell your children, go listen. And you go, listen. Do you want to eat the rice thing again? They're going to go, I'm sick of that. You're going to go, all right, well, we're going to drive them to a Sonic and have them cry. And maybe to give the family a milkshake. It's the greatest country in the world. I mean, it is. Isn't that what all these people keep saying? It's the greatest country in the world because you can do this. This is what makes it great. Because your children can cry and go into Steak and Shake or whatever. And Krispy Kreme. And they can cry and go, my family doesn't have any money. They don't have any money. And they won't ask, can I have a donut? And they might give you 12 donuts. They might give you a whole dozen. We're going to get through it together. And the way to get through it is to be smart. To be smart about everything. You know? I mean, I think we're going to handle it. A food shortage, by the way, is hard to understand because it seems plentiful. Food seems so plentiful out there. But there are a lot of families that are struggling with the ability to feed themselves. And if there is a charity that you know of that you can recommend to me that will help families that are in need of food, let me know what that charity is, because it is a tough predicament that certain people are in. But before I donate, I want to speak to the people and tell them to try this first. I'll give you food if you try this and it doesn't work. But try this. You got a couple of cute kids, you might give them food. Not Taki. Don't send Taki in there. They'll call the cops. That won't work with Taki. Don't send Taki into a Chili's. I'm saying for the other people. It's the greatest country in the world. And I think that we should all just understand that. So next week, very exciting. We have our summer special episode, which will be all of the places you can go on vacation on a budget. We're very excited about that because there are so many places that you can go now and eat. And a vacation on a real budget, like a real budget. For hundreds of dollars, you could take your family on a trip because I think everybody needs a trip. It's the summer. We've been through a hell of a 2 years. And a lot of people are going to do a staycation. They're going to get the family together and everybody watch the Gringo Poppy. But you also want to go out there and be able to take them to the amusement park and, give them food. So we'll have that for you when we come back. Thank you. Good night.